250th regular meeting of the Board of Aldermen, City of St. Ann come to order. We'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Alderman Tucker.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call.
We got everybody.
Alderman Campbell's here on phone. She's not under the weather, keeping us safe. Appreciate that. First order of business will be public comment on agenda items. Does anybody wish to speak on agenda items? We only have one, so I can a lot. But public comment on agenda items. Catherine, you want to?
Agenda is later.
For clarifying that part, does anybody wish to speak on agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move on. Introduction of bills. First reading bill number 3381, an ordinance authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with the FAA. Second reading bill number 3381, an ordinance authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with the FAA. Discussion? Matt, you want to describe what that is?
This is a agreement. The FAA has a wind shear detection device that is on a pole down at our, what used to be our old yard waste facility. So they lease a small piece of ground from us for that.
Is that renewed annually or?
No, it's renewed, I think, every 8 years.
8 years, right? I didn't remember seeing it in a while. That's why I asked that. Okay, any questions?
How much?
Excuse me?
How much?
Oh,
Sir,
800.
you're not allowed to speak out like that, I'm sorry.
Oh, what am I supposed to say? You said any questions? I said, how much?
That's for the board members.
Oh,
But to answer your question, it's $800 a year.
kick me next time, will you?
What?
Any other questions from the board?
No.
Seeing none, I understand a motion for approval.
So moved.
You go.
Roll call.
Basinger? Pelter? Dirk? Sparks?
Yes.
Murphy?
Yes.
Morgenthaler?
Yes.
Crony?
Yes.
Triplett?
Yes.
Bill number 3381 becomes ordinance number 3287. Approval of the monthly warrants, or monthly bills and warrant list. Discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, I understand a motion for approval.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And now we will have public comment on non-agenda items. Public comment on non-agenda items. Kathy, you want to speak, or anybody else? Now's the time.
He's being a gentleman and letting me go first. Well, thank you, Jim. Okay, Chris, do I give this to you? I'll try to make it quick. I have several things I wanted to address. The first thing, a few months ago, I asked about property that is owned by, I think, MSD behind.
Yes.
Okay. So I didn't hear anything. Someone on the board had said that maybe Bob Vogel would call and find out about the property. I hadn't heard anything, so I called a few weeks ago. And I talked to a lady and explained what the issue was, the overgrowth of a tree that's half dead from the tornado 11 years ago. And the other is this huge bush that it's just
overgrown.
Yes, and
More of
it stops a person next door from getting out of the gate in the backyard because the bush grows into the gate. So if I don't go back and cut it, you don't have access. So she called back and left a message, and it was garbled. It wasn't clear, but I think what she was telling me is it's not MSD property. So before I called again, I was just checking to make sure that it is MSD property, and then I'll call them back and say it's a good time of year because you can see the actual branches without all the leaves, and
Easier to
I-
kind of cut it down.
Yeah, well, do something with, maintain it. You know, they took those 7 homes out to put in that huge tank back there. And they cut, or someone cuts, but I know my neighbor and I have gone and cut back on that tree and cut back on that bush. But I think they need to maintain it, so. I just wanted to clarify that it is MSD property. Second thing I wanted to comment on is communication. Formerly, I've been in the area 43 years.
Were you done with that subject, or were you moving on to something else, or? I'm just, I was trying to answer.
Oh, the MSD?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm finished.
We'll have to, I thought, Brian, you want to address it?
Yeah, so I know that property kind of comes in, and then what we call St.Ann Park West is on the other side of that creek still.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
I'll have to see if I can maybe look on county's website and see what property lines are or something like that. I can try and look at it.
Okay, I'd really appreciate
Yeah, I
it.
mean, if
I'll
it's
wait
something
till I
that's
hear
on
from
our
you,
property and it's keeping you guys.
I'm pretty sure it's there. I know the exact bush that she's talking about. I'm not familiar with the tree, but I know the bush you're talking
Is it
about.
right on the line,
It's
or is it-
obnoxious. No, I think well, they mow it. They mow around
They
that
mo-
bush.
they
go
mow around
through.
it.
It's-
They do or our company does?
They
No.
do.
No,
They do.
it's there.
They
Okay.
do. Yeah, it's not
When you
saying
go across the
people.
pedestrian bridge, Ryan, it's on the right side, which that's kind of the border straight ahead
Yeah.
of what they cut from what we have.
Well, we'll try to clarify who the ownership is, but if they're maintaining it, I'm pretty sure it's
Okay.
ours.
And just let me know, I appreciate, I'll wait.
You-
I won't
I know
call.
where you're at. Yep.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
I didn't mean to cut you off, I just want to clarify.
No,
that
no,
we're
Mike,
talking
it's
about.
fine, it's
Kathy,
fine.
Kathy, it's MSD's.
Is it? And she said she had looked up, I think the message said, I've looked up the property and it doesn't belong to MSD, and I thought, okay.
Is it behind 11201 or
11203.
So is it, and it's the one in this corner closest to 201 though, right?
Closest to, say it again, Amy, I'm sorry.
Is it in the corner that's closer to 201, the bush?
It's actually, here's 203 and here's 201, and it's right,
In the center.
it's
Right,
it's
center of the
behind
two, right?
203, which is our property as well, so,
That's also MSD.
okay,
It's theirs.
okay, thank you. So,
There we go.
I
Brian, you got a
will call.
contact person? We don't know anybody in MSD, but.
No, I don't know anybody.
Do you have a contact person that we can call or see who's doing it? Who's doing it?
With the grass?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can find out who's doing the grass, or at least try to, yeah, because I do not know. Do you?
Well,
know?
and they just come and mow, just like St. Ann has that company that mows in the
Right.
back.
That's a contact.
And they do the same thing, they unload the trucks, they mow.
Yeah.
They can't hardly get through there between this huge bush and the fence. And I'm thinking about having that fence replaced in the back of 11203. And I thought, I want to get that out of the way before I invest and have a new fence put up back there.
Understandable.
Yeah. Okay,
Go ahead.
the second thing I wanted to ask about, I don't know if anyone's commented to the Board of Aldermen, but we used to receive, I thought 4 of these, one in summer, fall, winter, spring, the newsletter. And the only thing as a resident that I see now is what Amy puts in the localite. That's the only form of communication that I see. And I thought about it when a lady 2 doors down moved in, and you had come over with your crew to cut back that tree.
Yep.
And she didn't know St. Ann at all. It was her first time buying a home, and so I tried to give her names. I gave her Ryan's name and said you can contact them. It's just a good thing to be able to communicate so people know who you are. I used to love to just find out what was happening in the wards. And somebody had said, well, it's a financial issue. And I thought, this thing, I mean, it can't be finances. Maybe it was because of the
That's not
mailing. Is that the plan?
We've had a lot of problems with the post office mailing them. It has been a financial issue, but we need to get more consistent on it, admittedly.
It was just really good. I know as a retired teacher, how important it was for us to talk to parents. And we didn't wait for somebody on high to say, talk to parents. We had to do that. And it's just good for people to know who you are and who to contact and who to talk to. And the third thing I wanted to mention was the golf course. I've probably worked there for about 48 years now. I worked there when Batterack is the one that,
I remember.
yeah, you were a kid down in the creek hunting balls.
Golf ball.
I remember you and Matt.
I grew up there.
Creek kids, Tim O'Connell used to
Oh,
call
yeah.
them the Creek kids. You know, one way or the other, I'm not going to be around forever, so it's no big deal. It is a big deal because I love the golf course. I love the people that come in, and we get compliments. I play on a weekly ladies league over at Berry Hill, and friends would much prefer to come over and play at St.Ann. And I don't ask them why.
It's flatter.
Yeah, it is. Well, it is flatter, but it's great for seniors
Yeah.
to walk. You know, if they don't want to pay the card fees. And actually, I'm glad to see the increase in price. It's been 6 years, I think, since there's been an increase, and it's probably high time. I know what I pay over there as a senior non-resident during the week, and
You play over Berry Hill?
Yeah.
Do they close that course in the wintertime?
Yes.
yes, for a couple of months. They
For a
close
couple
early
months.
December or middle December, and they close till March 1, I think. Yeah. I don't know if it's changed. You know, I didn't ask Dave, their pro, but anyway, and my question about that is, all the part-time workers I work with, everybody is like, okay, Mark's leaving. Who's gonna order the soda? Who's gonna order the gator? Who's gonna order the beer? I don't know. And we haven't, again, communication. We haven't heard anything from anyone. And we have good workers. We're fortunate, you know, most of them are retired teachers, or we have one nurse practitioner who likes golf, and it's a great place, and if they're people persons, they're welcome, they're good.
Tim, did you say something in the Parks Board meeting about who was gonna run that while he was out?
Jeff is gonna he'll be my go-to person, and then Matt DeBar, when the community center was closed during COVID, Matt's very knowledgeable on that golf course, and
Yeah,
I can't really expend him too often at the community center now that we're open, but I can use him at certain times. Mark is setting up a schedule, just like he does, Mark's off in the wintertime anyway. He goes to Florida. So, you know, that part of it's not gonna change, but yeah, we're gonna have to make a decision. Matt says he's gonna have
What we're doing, I mean, with the budget is the board's authorized a study of the entire park system. And the golf course will be part of that as far
Sure.
as the operations of the golf course, the staffings that's required. You know,
right.
everything will be rolled into that, and else, you know, we'll get that out, the request out the first part of January, and hopefully get somebody on board within a month or so.
And it's, you know, it's, I don't know, I guess Mark's been there, but before him it was, well, when I started working there was no manager. So we just all went to work in the spring, summer, fall, and on
Hasn't been the
weekends.
same since Tim O'Connell.
Yeah, so I hate to see it, I mean, I think it's an asset for St. Ann.
Absolutely. It needs a lot of infrastructure, obviously.
The infrastructure is going to be the long term. That's going to be the major issue that the golf course faces.
The bridges as well, and erosion of the
I
creeks.
know the bridges, you know, because when I walk over them, I worry about,
fairways, there's a lot of erosion issues.
well, definitely. I see it behind the house.
It
in
doesn't
the
help that
creek.
we got a creek that goes through it either.
Exactly. And that's an issue, and I know, we used to take turns calling MSD about the crud that would float. You'd see a love seat, you'd see a grocery cart.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine and I, we'd take turns. You call today, I'll call tomorrow. And we asked them about removing it. I mean, the guys working there are busy. They don't go down in the creek and
No,
remove
they don't
crud
want
that
to.
washes down from Overland and St. John, down, you know,
Well,
toward
the
the,
guys do want you down there anyway.
well, they don't, and I understand, but it's improved. But she had said to us, unless that water can't flow through anymore, we don't deal with it. So I thought, okay, so it's kind of a thankless issue. I guess they have other things going on, but it is better in the creek area.
There still needs to be a lot of things addressed, we're aware of it. It's definitely on the top of our priority list, our entire park system is as well. That is definitely gonna need some TLC fast,
They did get that big tree out during, after the flood, right?
yes.
Yeah,
That's subcontract.
that flood was, well, I'm still at home under the house repairing and doing, and it was unbelievable.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
Does anybody else wish to speak on non-agenda items? Does anybody wish to speak on non-agenda items? Come on, Ben.
Okay. You need this, Chris? Okay. Big topic of last week's committee meeting was the taxation on marijuana. Just wanted to remind you all once again, many times over the years in different meetings, it's been mentioned that any additional money derived from marijuana taxation would be directed towards streets. And that's been said even since the passage of Prop S. So keep that in mind when you talk about directing it elsewhere.
We had, those are probably our two biggest gating forward in the budget, are the streets programs and the park program. And it has been mentioned, but I think we have dedicated quite a bit as a TDD, citywide TDD towards the streets as well. And we've still got a long way to go. Your street, my street, there's plenty of them, I'm not gonna believe that. But yeah,
The TDD, as we all knew going in, is a 25 to 30 year project.
yeah, that's correct.
And anything else would just speed up the process.
Right. But point well taken.
Mhm.
Okay. Is that all? Okay.
Thank you.
Sir?
Oh, also to comment on what she said about communications. I agree with her completely. Communication needs to be improved, and I know the cost of the mailing of the newsletter, but why couldn't there be pages on the city website for commentary from, there is one for mayor's page,
Yeah, I'll admit I'm not
Rarely
with that as
updated.
well either.
but there's nothing for the rest of the board, or anyone else for that matter. So,
Valid.
and that would be cheap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak on non-agenda items? Does anybody else wish to speak on non-agenda items? Seeing none, I will understand a motion to go
We
into.
have one thing as far as, we'd like to move the committee meeting to the 19th of December.
Swing it around the holidays, or not?
Swing it around the holidays.
I would prefer to have it before than right in the middle of all the holidays. There's a chance I might end up being going out of town again. Right there anyway, at the end of the month.
19th of December?
19th. Yep, okay.
Need a phone call from there?
No.
Voice vote? No. Okay. Seeing none, I will now understand a motion to go into
Oh,
close.
what Chris wants to.
Oh, Chris?
I just wanted to remind everyone that tomorrow begins the filing for the
Oh, yeah.
election. And from
Right over
December
there.
6th through December 27th is the.
Repeat that, I was talking, I'm sorry.
From December 6th through December 27th. candidates
Closing
can-
is December 27th?
Yes.
Why so early this year, Chris?
It was that way last year. They
State
changed
law.
the state law.
State statute change.
In 2020, it was January 19th.
Right, they
Yeah.
changed it,
They changed it.
starting last year.
Last year was the first year of change. Thank you for the reminder, Chris. I apologize, I didn't see it right here. All right. Anybody else have something for me? Yep. I'll now understand a motion to go into closed session for legal
And personnel.
and personnel.
Roll call vote. Kathy? Silver? Dirk? Yes. Sparks?
Yes.
Murphy? Yes. Curly? Triplett?
We are in closed session. Everybody have a happy holiday. Merry Christmas.
Same to you, sir.
John.
He forgot his phone.
Oh, you haven't seen him, huh? He got buzzed. He got buzzed.
Your phone is at your place. There really isn't anybody around.
I'll be down in a second.
Hey, Ryan, you bump all those trees up on my wall.
Closed session, man.
Thank you, lady.
Do you want to say something?
Sure.
Ordinance?
Ordinance. Solo. Thank you. Appreciate it. Say what now?